Right, I'm live. I am alive. Just get into mode, you know. Brilliant. Well, hello, welcome to another Martin Sci-Fi Chat Show. I've completely screwed it up on the advertising I was doing because I think that's running, but it didn't work from this end. So, hello, Real Talk. How are you, bud? It's good to see you. Yeah, tonight's chat Avengers Endgame. Uh, have you seen it? Your thoughts on it? Were you happy with it? And did you think it was any good? And was it worth a 10-year wait to see Thanos come back from time and get his head chopped off? Do you know what I mean? So, how are you, Real Talk? You know, what's been happening? Have you had a good bank holiday? Oh, just some guy. Yo, good to see you, mate. Glad you're here. I've watched it 2 times. Yeah, I've seen it twice myself. I went, I went, uh, I went to see it the Thursday morning. I went about 10:30 actually. No, 11:30. I came out at 2 o'clock. It was crazy, and I went like when it had quietened down a bit, and there was only me at cinema and some other people. So I did appreciate it second time. There's even now there's still a lot to take in with the Avengers film. I mean, there is so much to take in, you know. So I don't know. I mean, uh, some people weren't happy with the ending, but I thought they wrapped it up all quite nicely. Uh, I think the next big villain is going to be Kang the Conqueror. I think it's going that way. It's going to be Kang, the time traveling dude that goes around conquering time. So, just some guy. Have you had a good bank holiday? You know, I hope you've had a good one, mate. So we're on about Avengers. Hi, Jane. How are you? Good to see you. Sorry, my advert messed up again, so I've had to, start again. I had to start with the Avengers theme. I just love that music. It's really spine tingling. Have you had a good weekend, buddy? Just some guy. You know, mine's yeah, interesting. I did a podcast yesterday with some sci-fi dudes, which will be up next month. Uh, I cried for yeah, I did. Just some guy. I cried when Tony Stark sacrificed himself. I love what he did to Thanos, though. You know when he when we were having that fight with him, and suddenly we had the Iron Gauntlet, and that was just amazing. Yeah, I've had a good one, Jen. Yeah, it's up and down, up and down. Looking forward to this week, though. Yeah, no, I was in tears on that. Just some guy, you know that funeral. I was really in tears, and Captain America got his final dance with Peggy, which I really like that. So the question is, was he there all along? You know, when Steve went round there, did he meet his older self and not realise? You know, but yeah, again, Marvel's got this thing about different sort of timelines. You know, let's put some sci-fi music on. Right, here we go. You know, so I don't know. I was just pretty blown away. The funeral was just incredible. You know, so yes, Jane. Yeah, I know. Avengers was incredible. It took $2 billion in a fortnight. I have to say, Captain Marvel was nothing compared to this, you know. But Avengers Endgame, I've got to admit, I'm looking forward to it. Just some guy, where did you stream it? I'd like to watch. I'd like to watch it at home, actually. You know. So I am sort of. Is it a good copy? What you streamed? I did see a really nasty bad copy online, so I didn't bother with it. Just some guy. Uh, oh man, Captain America. Oh man, Captain America cried there as well as he spent a life there. 8 years old was spending time when I was. The other version was still on ice. I know, I know. It was pretty weird how Marvel works their time travel out. I like the segment that we're all going on about Terminator and Back to the Future and Tony Stark's. It's like trying to tell them, that's a film. And is it Falcon? Is it Ant Man that goes, yeah? Well, are you telling me Back to the Future it's a pile of shit? Do you know when they were going on about it? Just some guy streamed on Android box. Good copy. All right, cheers for that, bud. I'll take a look at that. Jane, I was a little disappointed that Marty McFly and Doc Brown didn't help the Avengers. Well, no, I think their time travel totally blew. I think Doc Brown's time travel it was quite straightforward, wasn't it, with the timeline being altered. But in Marvel Universe, apparently grandfather paradox or something. I saw this YouTube video on it, sort of explained it. But the ancient one, I loved the scene of Tilda Swinton as the ancient one, and she's blown up all the Chitauri. I loved it. She should have been in first Avengers now. Right, Captain Marvel's stream was grainy and dark, unwatchable. I'll wait for another version. Yeah, well, I apparently the releasing when Avengers Endgame. I think it's coming out near November on Blu-ray. It might be, I'm hoping October actually. But I did see some sort of advert on Facebook. They're releasing all 22 movies together in a massive box set, and I'm definitely getting that. I know I've got them, but I think the Gauntlet's on the box set. Wouldn't it be good if they released it like in like an Infinity Gauntlet or Iron Man's helmet, and you can open it up and all the discs are inside? That'd be just so cool. And what a way to finish it off! Right, Jane, I was little disappointed that Martin McFly and Doc Brown didn't help the Avengers. I've sort of read that. Just some guy, Captain. Oh yeah, just some guy. I think the X-Men should team up with the remaining new Avengers. Well, apparently, a lot of people have been theorizing. Well, I think Marvel's going for Secret Wars. That's the next one now, but it's a few years away. Where the heroes and villains get taken to another planet or something and battle it out. But apparently, because now Marvel own X-Men have got the rights back, we're going to be getting the going to reinvent the X-Men, and it looks like we will get the Avengers versus the X-Men, which should be interesting. Just some guy, I'm assuming when Spider-Man turned up at the end for the final battle, that Far From Home had just happened, and Doctor Strange went to collect him. No, Far From Home is set after the film, but there's a massive mention in Far From Home about the snap and what's happened. Because it is it's set 5 years later, isn't it? It is 5 years later. I mean, well, that's what I loved about Avengers Endgame. As I said in my review, it was looking into the world of the snap and the damage and how it affected people. The old snap thing, which I found fascinating, and they really went into that. I mean, first 10 minutes of film when they all went and attacked Thanos. I mean, they took him out, didn't they? And Thor just chopped his head off. And then the damage after that, because he destroyed the Infinity Stones, the damage after that was that everybody sort of went depressed. And Thor were hilarious. I love Thor when he lived in that hut playing Fortnite all day, with the two aliens, which I thought were just brilliant. They're all sat drinking beer. He's got a big beer belly and he's just given up. I honestly thought Thor was truly one of the best ones in that film. And Black Widow sacrificing herself like that. And he couldn't bring her back in Snap. He tried to bring her back and he couldn't do it. Which I were pretty. So the Black Widow movie, it's coming next year. must be setting her past then. That must be setting her past. I would have liked to have seen her up next team of Avengers. I really do like Scarlett Johansson. I think she's marvelous. You know, I love her character because there's a lot more to her. She's quite. Did you see her breaking down and she was crying and all that? Because you didn't get that in other films with her, did you really? She's quite together, ain't she? You know, guarded with her feelings and stuff. But even the snap, I mean, the damage Thanos had done, I mean, they really went into that, you know, when he did the snap. And that's what I loved about this film. I'm looking forward to sitting down watching Infinity War and Endgame together. I mean, you're talking 5.5, is it 5.5 hours? I mean, that's going to be some night in sitting and watching all that together. But it's got to be done, hasn't it? It has to be done. Right, let's just catching up now. Right. Right, just some guy. Phase 4. Yep. Well, we've got the Eternals coming, haven't we? I don't know if that'll take off because comics never took off, did they? With Eternals. I do like the Eternals, but they've never really sort of done out with them. Jane, the Doctor goes back in time and have all the Infinity Stones. Well, he might cross over, you know, and no doubt Disney will buy up the BBC at some point. They're buying everything up. Disney's just going to own everything, and you know, are they going to bring Uncle Walt back with the Infinity Gauntlet as well? Because his head's frozen in a fridge in it or something. I saw this documentary about it on Channel 5 years ago. Walt Disney's head's in like a freezer thing, cryogenics. God, bringing him back. Well, he'll be no, they flogged the family business off. So, you know. Right, James, right, just some guy. The snap could be like a big bang that alters reality. Yeah, but you couldn't bring anybody back, could you? You Gamora, you couldn't bring her back. So we've got Gamora from the alternative timeline now with the Guardians, and Black Widow sacrificed herself. I would have liked to have seen the meeting between Captain America and Red Skull on Vormir. That would have been interesting. I really would like, because you know when he took the stones back, because he went back through time, didn't he, to take them back before they were took. So he must have met the Red Skull on Vormir. He must have done. Right. Hang on. All right, Copeland, how are you, bud? Have you had a good bank holiday? Right, just somebody. Right, Jane, will they bring back Black Widow alive? No, it's only started. He tried. He snaps his finger. You can't do it. The Soul Stone, 1-for-1, isn't it? Well, it's not that in the comic. Yeah, you know, but no. This is the MCU. Right, just some guy. Infinity Endgame will be some marathon. Imagine all of them. Captain America, for Iron Man, etc. Few. When I watched Endgame, I got in bed. It was 10 to 6. Oh God, really? Just some guy. Did you go see it like at midnight then? So did you get to see both of them together? I was going to go to midnight thing, but I couldn't get hold of any tickets. Right. When I watched Endgame, I got to bed. Right. Coco, do you think Disney might stop series 3 of the Orville now that they have? No. No way. Orville's it's becoming one of the biggest things out there. Its fan base is increasing. It's bigger than Discovery. It's really, it's what Star Trek should have been, shouldn't it, really? You know, he's just fitted so perfectly. Hi, dog. How are you, bud? Hey, how do I become a porn star? Well, I've been asking that question myself. Watch YouTube videos. All the porn stars are on there. They should give you an answer. Oh, get a camera, mate, and start performing online. I mean, I don't know. Jane, the time machine in Star Wars 9 also. Oh, God, yeah. We're going to go into Star Wars soon, Jane. Trust me, we're going to go. I've been watching Mike Zero. I know you don't like watching much, but yeah. I mean, basically, he's just told everybody over last week what he's always having new reports of set leaks I mean, 3 times a day. I mean, I don't know. I mean, basically, from what I put together from his videos, I know what's going to happen in next film. Jane, Matt Smith is in it. It's confirmed, Jane. Matt Smith is in it. He is playing Palpatine, a younger version. It looks like the next Star Wars film is going with Dark Empire head to the Empire from the expanded universe, you know. And Palpatine's the spirit who I assume is going to take who's cloned a younger body because there's a new Sith Lord running about, and this will know about Palpatine's vessel. So I've heard. I mean, this is what they've been saying on YouTube. Apparently, the leaks that have been coming out, but I could be wrong. Just some guy. But yeah, Jane, time travel is possible in Star Wars. Did you watch Rebels when they were in the corridors and he saved Ahsoka when she were fighting with Vader? You know, so there is some fun. But apparently, in this new Star Wars film, we're going to find out there's a statue to Ezra Bridger, and we find out what happened to him. And I think we're going to end up with a live action Ezra Bridger sort of movie from Rebels. I think that's where they're going. But they are going to do. Lucas is looking at Knights at the Old Republic. Just some guys. The reason they couldn't bring back another Solo Summon is because it's a bit like Alara and Angel. When season 5, when Fred Soul was confused in the Fires of Resurrection. Yeah, it is a trade. Yeah, totally. Trade, yeah. It is. But in the comic, if you've read Infinity Gauntlet in the comic, it don't work like that. But I did think, Jane, it's all over internet. Seriously, Matt Smith is in next Star Wars film. All Star Wars comic channel said. Honestly, he's in it. It's confirmed. His identity's been kept a secret. Apparently, he's been working very close with Ian McDiarmid, who's coming back as the Emperor. I mean, I don't know. I'm only going by reviews, but Matt Smith is in the film, Jen. It's confirmed. I think why you haven't found him on IDMB, they're keeping it quiet, but Matt Smith is in it. Coco, I think it's brilliant that the Emperor's coming back in Star Wars 9. Oh, yeah, the Emperor. Coco, the Emperor's, I think he's one of the greatest villains in pop culture ever created. I even think he outdoes all the horror monsters. I mean, that guy's just, the Emperor's just the epitome of pure evil. You know what I mean? You know, he is just pure evil. Look what he manipulated. Vader would never have defeated him without Luke. Because if you've been reading the Vader comic, Vader's just so paranoid of him. Because he manipulated Interstellar Wars. I mean, the man's a monster. You know, and he's such a lovely chap in the first trilogy movies, isn't he? It's like a lovely granddad. Said he's that. You know, I think that's what's so fascinating about him. Have you read Plagueis, Darth Plagueis? You know, I do recommend you get a lot about Palpatine's life when he was younger, which is fascinating. Right, hang on, Coco, I think you said it. Just some guy, time travel, alternate realities are the flavour of decade. Yeah, I like alternative realities. Do you remember Sliders? I love Sliders. I've heard it's coming back, actually. Seriously, Jerry, what is it's been? What's this, Jerry McConnell or something? It's been him and John Reeve Jones. Somebody's put a new format for Sliders together. I love Sliders. You know, I might get the Sliders box sets out, actually, because they just left that. Didn't they? Never. I mean, season 5 when they merged in with that other guy, that was annoying. But I love the first 4. Say Sliders were awesome. You know, right? He is Jane. Jane. He is honestly, Jane. He is in the next Star Wars film. Matt Smith, the Doctor, is in the next Star Wars film. He won't find it, Jane. Honestly, he's even on Nerdish. Jessica Sober. He's in it. He won't allow to say out. It's in his contract. And this has been going back a while. He's in it. So I don't know. I think he's the new Sith Lord. That's where he's in the film, but his part is very secret. Everybody's assuming that he's the young Palpatine clone. So just some guy. Hang on, Jet. Rumors that Kylo Ren joined. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's about the balance. The whole film is about the balancing of the Force. I mean, if this is the final part of this trilogy, Palpatine's going to get destroyed permanently, and I could see him coming back with a younger body. That means he was behind Snoke. Then Snoke was just a servant of Palpatine. Snoke's irrelevant, unless Snoke were a clone of Palpatine or something. I don't know. Just some guy. A lot of sci-fi battles are based on biblical battles. Yep, no, that's true. Look at June. That's based on a lot of past test religious stuff, isn't it? And June's coming back, another version of it. I don't think I'm going to bother with June when they remake it. Cold Slider's really good when it started, but it went down the further. Yeah, well, I agree with that. I agree with that, Cold. Yeah. Sliders, it did start slipping, didn't it? I mean, there were some great seasons. I mean, I did like the Cro-Mag thing, but they ended up screwing it up with them, didn't they? Season 5 was terrible. It was, Hello, John. How are you, bud? Well, time travel is in Star Wars. I'm afraid it does exist. It's in Rebels, but I won't give you any spoilers on that. You'll have to. I know you're watching Clone Wars at the moment, but you'll have to watch Rebels to find out. No spoilers on that one. Just some guy. Sliders loved that back in '96 until they killed off the little bird and swapped Quinn and killed off the professor. Yeah, I know that. I know. Do you remember they had Roger Daltrey running around as that vampire? I mean, that where he were like injecting people for the stuff from the brain, and his face would. I mean, and they chased him for like half a season. It was just a cop out, wasn't it? Right. Just some guy. The Force is basically the same power energy. It's the choice, good or evil. The goodies, the baddies are the same. Well, that's it. I think in the final analysis of Star Wars, I think we're going for like the balance of the Force now. I think everything's going to get leveled out. That both sides are going to be put in the place, and the balance is in the middle. Because if you've seen Clone Wars season 6, you see the three entities, the Force gods, one dark, one light, and then one who keeps the balance in the middle. Which sort of explains, and we've got the wills as well. The entities of the Force. So there is cosmic entities in Star Wars. Just some guy. Roger don't loved it. Oh yeah. Oh God, Islander. Yeah, I remember Islander. But then they made them really cheesy movies to finish it off, didn't they? Yeah, Islander Endgame and all that. Do you remember? Oh yeah, Islander Endgame. Do you remember final movie? That was just terrible, wasn't it? With Mephos and where they all turned up and fought that super fast immortal, and then she became pregnant on that. Stonehenge figure ended, and all it's been about is about the child that's going to be born. You are the one. After all that, I think the first film is spectacular on Highlander. I do, but after that, I mean, don't get me started on Highlander too. Oh God, I mean, does that exist? Was that from an alternative reality? Right. Just some guy, Roger, right, Copeland, and then another actor took over from Roger. Yeah, they did. Yeah, it just got worse, didn't it? But it did. Ginger, Palpatine is back, but not how you'd expect a copy of his consciousness. So, yeah, well, Jane, right? If you're a Jedi, right, you can become a Force ghost or something, but you've got to keep your personality, or you just absorb back into Force or something. So you've got to have a strong will. apparently. Uh, but apparently, yeah, like with a dark user, a force user, you've got to. They can tie themselves into a building, an object, a place, or somewhere. That's how they can sort of. Because in Vader comic, they get hold of a Sith warrior's helmet, and the spirits inside the helmet. It tries to possess Vader, but Vader destroys it or something. So it's because Palpatine gives it to him. So I don't know. I mean, they can rewrite the Star Wars. They can rewrite all this, can't they? Because this is all from the expanded universe, isn't it? Which is now a parallel timeline. So this is the new canon, isn't it? We've never seen a MacGuffin and stuff. Well, Jane, we're gonna say it. I think Jane. To be honest, I think Palpatine mastered immortality. I do. I think he mastered it. I think he knew the secret, and I think it's about body transference. I think he's been alive all these years. I do. I thought he might be Death Star 2 trapped in there, that he bonded with it. But apparently there's something called the Lost City, and this is where it's all going to be set, and it's in the unknown regions, because they've got a big thing for the unknown regions, haven't they? So I don't know. Just some guy, the Force Ghost Astral Projector. Yeah, well, it's something like that. I think Matt Smith's his clone. I do. I think Matt Smith is his clone. I do. I think he's the clone of Palpatine, like younger, because it just makes sense. But I mean, again, Palpatine, when he got thrown down that shaft, it would have took him half an hour to get to the bottom of it, wouldn't it? So 120 miles. So it's 30-minute fall. And Luke Skywalker survived when he got knocked down a shaft. Star Wars, they've got a thing about big shafts, haven't they? I don't mean it like that. Big shafts where they knock bodies down, Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, it happened. Look at Darth Maul. He fell down the shaft, didn't he? And he survived. And he was running around he had big, giant metal legs. So he survived. So I'm sure that Palpatine, the biggest manipulator in pop culture and science fiction, would have survived falling down that big shaft. Right. We've done. Copeland, are you looking forward to the Star Wars? Yeah, definitely. Can't wait. What, the female Mandalorian warriors? Yeah, definitely. I've seen some. I've put the like half a minute trailer of it. What Star Wars Celebration? They released a little bit of it, and it looks amazing. I'm finally glad that Star Wars is going to television now, because I think we're going to get a lot of Star Wars series. We remember Cassian Andor from Rogue One. He's getting a TV series about him joining Rebel Alliance, apparently, on Disney. So they're working on that. I think we're going to get a lot of Star Wars TV now, guys, because the cartoons have been a big hit, like Rebels and Clone Wars. And there's a new season of Clone Wars coming in November. So, season 7. Because they tried wrapping up and getting rid of it, didn't they? But it's Clone Wars is spectacular. And apparently, the next Star Wars film, the guy that does the cartoon series, he's helping out with J.J. Abrams. So I can see that this is going to work. I mean, after Last Jedi debacle, they've got a lot to make up for. That's why they're going back to source canon, isn't it? Right. Right, are you looking for just some guy? Part of social condition is the future copying consciousness into into cloned controlled bodies. See movie Transcendence with Depp. Well, yes, that is. I think it's as simple as that. It's. Do you know what I mean? I really do. Do you remember that film years ago, right? With Mick Jagger and Emilio Estevez. I forgot what it was called. This is going back and saying where you transferred, where they took you out of the past when you were going to die, and then they got your body and then some guy in future could transfer his consciousness into you. Free Jack. Free Jack. I think it was called Free Jack. I don't know if anybody remembers Free Jack. Mick Jagger were in it. Emilio Estevez. Anthony Hopkins. Does anybody remember Free Jack? And that was based on a short story in a book as well. Right, just some guy. What if when Palpatine dropped down the shaft, the explosion was temple rift? Well, that's what it could be. All that energy, that could have been. I mean, look, he were on one, wasn't he? He were on a massive one, but blasting Luke and then Vader picked him up and threw him down the shaft. Somebody who's a manipulator like that is gonna cover his ass, and it makes sense to bring him back. I think it's a good idea. But apparently said it from the beginning. He possessed right. So it would make sense he'd have a plan within a plan within a plan. It's Palpatine, isn't it? But we'll have to wait and see. But I think it's about essence transference, because apparently Anakin Skywalker's in it. There's Han Solo's coming back. Well, he's in video recordings or something. I mean, just bring out the bloody Ewoks back. Jen, he possessed the body and ruled as Snoke when Snoke's going. Well, that's what I think. And I think Jane as well, because he's so powerful, right? That his energy eats the clones up. I do. I really think the energy eats the clones up. So he's looking. Maybe Rey was one of his creations, and she got out of the lab as a little girl on Jakku. And she's got this thought, and that's why she's so powerful in Force that it's going to possess her body. Maybe because he like power, he destroys his clones, Because they say about cloning, when you copy yourself over and over again, you start degrading, So it's like when you record something, it gets worse as you keep going along. It used to did it from tape to tape. But maybe that he needs a certain body, or to permanently keep in that body. But he will have a plan. He's like that. He's the ultimate manipulator, But I can see why he would have hidden away for 20 years. Maybe he's not in a position to go for an all-out attack like you use his full power. He's got to get back there. So maybe it took all his power to save himself. And that was that explosion of energy when he teleported out. But it took all his power. Coco, I think it will be great to assume a load of dosh is being thrown into this production. Of course. I think they'll be sat back watching what happened with Avengers Endgame, thinking we want Star Wars like that. And Star Wars has the potential to become like Avengers Endgame if they can get this right. If they could make this the greatest Star Wars movie of all time, there is hope for it. But after that, I think last film, lazy writing, it was terrible, and they just thought, oh, let's print a stamp at Star Wars, we'll make loads of money. People don't want that. People are wise. We've got the internet. People talk about it. It's crap. Everybody else goes sitting into forums and debates. We talk about it. We go on and on. And that's it. We're not daft. I think for years they just thought they could print stuff, and we go see it, and we won't. I think it would be great. So, all right, just some guys. It's a pity they couldn't have paired Anne and Lando together again like old times. Did you see the picture of Hamill putting online? Ian Fisher and Ford recently, the captain said, what could have been? Yeah, well, yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah, and of course, R.I.P. to Peter Mayhew, one of my heroes. I met him a few years back, actually. Norwich, was it Norwich? A convention. Lovely man. He had a walking stick, really tall, like an hippie. Lovely guy, though. So nice, But yeah, he will be missed. To me, he was Chewbacca. Just some guy. It's a pity they couldn't have paired Lando together again. I agree with that. Because I would have liked to see them two arguing in Falcon. Because they were like best mates, weren't they? They were both alike. You know, it's a shame, but it is nice to see Lando back. I big fan of Lando. I love Solo as well. I thought he was great in Solo. Coco, I think it will be great. I assume a load of right. Did you see the picture? Yeah, I did. And what could have been? Well, Mark Hamill, just some guy, was not happy with what they'd done to Luke Skywalker. He was really pissed when he read the script. He said that. He said this guy was about hope in the galaxy, and he was. He spent 3 bloody movies watching him rise to get the balance of goodness in the universe. Because of him, they destroyed first Death Star and all other stuff. Gave the Rebel Alliance up. He was hope for the next generation. And what did they do to him? Make him sit in a hut for 30 years feeling sorry for himself. I mean, come on. It just wasn't right, was it? Right. Coco, flashback. We need a round of drum roll for flashback. Had the drum roll, and what was it? Free Jack. God, 1992. 1992, Free Jack. Do you remember that film? But Mick Jagger, Anthony Hopkins, and Emilio Estevez. A bloody good film, that one, wasn't it? I've not seen Free Jack in. I don't think I've seen Free Jack since then. I got it on VHS. I remember renting it out one Sunday night. I watched it. Yeah, bloody good film. I thought Mick Jagger's character were called Poindexter or something, weren't they? Poindexter. He chased him around, didn't he? Mick Jagger. But it was a good film. And they spent money on it as well. Star Trek called the clone copies replicate fade. How do I remember all this stuff? Because we're science fiction fans, that's why. I remember, hey, I could build a warp core. I mean, good God, I need to get a life. Just some guy, Free Jack, top film, definitely just some guy, great film. Actually, I wonder if it's on YouTube. I might dig that up, I fancy watching that. He must be knocking on now, Emilio Estevez, Must be in his 60s. Jen, Kylo Ren needs to destroy MacGuffin to stop Palpatine reclaiming the First Order through another host. Jen, I think Palpatine is running the First Order. I do. I think he's running the First Order. He's running it through puppets. I think there's a problem with his transformation, and he needs to get certain things in place for him to do what he needs to do to come back. But he's been there, and he's running First Order. But I mean, if Kylo Ren turns to the good side anyway, I mean, after what he did, don't forget he killed billions of people. He killed more than Vader. Because don't forget, Starkiller Base didn't just take out a planet, took out entire star systems full of people living on them. So he's killed into billions, possibly even trillions. So I think Kylo Ren will die in this movie. I think he'll do the ultimate sacrifice. Because he's still conflicted, isn't he? Right, hang on, just some guy. Free Jack, get on DVD and her out of Lethal Weapon. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, I forgot her name now. She was sort of big at the time. She was like an up and coming star at the time, wasn't she? I forgot her name. Oh, Renee Summit, I think. Yeah, because her character got married to Mel Gibson, didn't it? I think what it in Lethal Weapon 4. Because she had a kid to him. She turned up Lethal Weapon 3. I've not seen Lethal Weapon the TV series yet. I've heard it's meant to be quite good. Just some guy, Free Jack, got on DVD and right, read that. Just played his girlfriend. Just some guy. Estevez played Edward Furlong appropriately. Yes, he did. He did. Jane, I agree with Clyde. Who is to blame is J.J. Abrams and not Rian Johnson. And Solo. And Solo died and put Luke in that island. Well, well, they shouldn't have done that to Luke Skywalker, should they? I mean, what they did to him wouldn't have bothered bringing him back. Really, there really wasn't much point, was there, bringing him back? You know, which were quite annoying. They shouldn't have done that to Luke Skywalker, Jane. I mean, don't you remember when you went to see Return of Jedi? You know, and Emperor's there, and he won't break down he won't cross over to the dark side and all that. Well, apparently, in the new film, according to Mike Zero and some other people, there's been you know, them scenes where Luke's on the floor screaming, and the Emperor's firing the electricity at him. You know, there's the Sith lightning. Well, they've added bits to it where the Emperor's saying more to him. So we're going to see more of them scenes with him on the floor being electrocuted because he sees it in flashbacks or something. Because apparently Luke's ghost is on loose. Anakin makes an appearance. Now it's rumored Ewan McGregor's coming to do some voice work in post production because Ray is him guiding her into Lost City. Rene Russo, that's it. Yep. Don't sort of see her much now, do you, Rene Russo? No. Right, Jane. I agree with Planet who's to blame. Jane. I think, if J.J. Abrams had a plan and Star Wars: The Last Jedi were part of that plan, he definitely messed it up. I watched Last Jedi about a week ago and I hated it. I really tried to. That film has got so many flaws in it. You can just tear it apart. It's awful. You know. I have tried. I'll tell you what. When I got in yesterday, I did watch Rogue One last night. I think Rogue One's the best Star Wars film ever made. For me, it just got it right. I just think Rogue One got it all right. Just some guy. Rennie Russo, the power of Google just saved my life for TV, dear. Yeah. I had a friend who used to come out with stuff like if he got questioned on stuff, and he got caught because he used to go to the toilet with his phone. I'm going to the toilet, and he start looking googling answers on Sly, and he'd come out and make him. Somebody said to him, "Don't take it." Somebody said, "Don't take your phone to the toilet." Oh no, I can't do it. The power of Google. Yeah. Just some guy. I liked Russo and Mr. Destiny now. Oh God, yeah. I remember that, Mr. Destiny. You're going back there, just some guy. With James Belushi and Linda Hamilton and Michael Caine as the angel, and again, an alternate reality story. Yeah, definitely. Oh God, James Belushi. I remember him. You're going back there, James Belushi. That's going back. All right, Jane, your comment. Right. Oh, you were 14 at the time. Right, Jane, I've got one. I agree with Clyde, Jane. Right. Jane, I agree with Clyde. Who's to blame? J.J. Abrams and not Rian Johnson. Han Solo died and put Luke in the island. I don't agree with that. I can't agree. Well, I can't. Yeah, again, you do have a point, Jane, because J.J. Abrams is the hand behind Ryan Johnson. He is the supreme producer on the whole project, isn't he? So he does have some blame. Jane, call return to Kylo of info on where they think it is. Kylo and Ray team. Yeah, well, I think they're the balance. Jane, call return to Kylo with info on where they think it is. Kylo and Ray team up to destroy Palpatine once and for all. Now, I agree, Jen. I agree. Jen. I agree. because have you noticed this is where like Last Jedi does go into some of this because do you remember when they have that fight, him and Ray, and they're fighting over that lightsaber, and they seem to be equal, don't they? In ability and power, they seem to be equal, and I think there are aspects of the Force that's gonna balance it out. I think them two are gonna balance the Force out, and they'll be the ones that will. I think Kylo Ren will turn on Palpatine because I think the Force Ghosts are going to show him the truth of what happened, and I think Ray and him are going to stop Palpatine. I totally agree because I think it's about. I think this whole film is about getting the Force balanced. Getting the dark and the light totally balanced out. That's where I think this film's going. Just some guy. JJ did a good job with first two Star Trek. Impressed with them. Apparently, Island is being remade. I think Thomas Jane should play Connor and Christian Bale. Duncan. Interesting. Interesting. On the JJ Star Trek thing, I loved the first one. I thought I liked the first one. I thought the second one annoyed me. But Star Trek Beyond was very good. I really enjoyed that. So for me, they weren't too bad. Apparently, we're not getting a fourth now because Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth wanted more money. Islander, apparently Islander is being remade. I think Thomas Jane should play Connor and Christian Bale. Duncan, do you know? I think that's good. Yeah, yeah, I would, but this time they've got to get it right. First Island is a masterpiece, but the other three sequels were terrible. Yeah, they did make 4 sequels, didn't they? Do you know Islander bloody 4? Wasn't that Mario Van Peebles? That was terrible. Then they don't even get me started on Islander 2. Good God, man. Islander 2. Real talk time. I don't like J.J. Abrams movies. Well, yeah, I watched Lost. That sort of got him sort of famous, wasn't it? And I thought first couple of seasons of Lost were marvellous. How it adds you at the end, and then we got to the final season, it was just crap. And I thought if that's the answer to the last 6 years of sitting through this, again, you get let down. But letting Abrams on the classic like Islander is dodgy. I am a bit wary of that. I think Islander 1 with Sean Connery and Christopher Lambert is a masterpiece movie. It's just all the other 3 crap movies that followed. I mean, the TV series were better than 3 movies, but they messed that up with them cheesy movies that came out. Yet again, Islander ran the TV set. It went for 6 years, didn't it? I mean, it did. It went for a long time, didn't it? So it was popular, Real Talk Channel. I don't, right, just some guy. The first Star Trek remake was poor. I liked it. I did. I wasn't a big fan of Into Darkness. It just annoyed me. I just think it could have been a lot better. Just some guy. Thomas Jane in The Punisher is the dub. Oh, God, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, you're right. Jane, I wish I could. There's that many. It's to make the MacGuffin. It's the balance, Jane, where it's all going to come together. And I go with Mike Zero and other people, and Star Wars comics and our stupendous with the MacGuffin. It's about the balance of the Force. Everything in this, all the movies, every single movie, right back to trilogies, back to prequels, is gonna come. It's gonna be answered in this film. The MacGuffin is the balance in the form. Well, didn't Luke go looking for something called the Oriole? And that was going to be the MacGuffin about some book, but it never got mentioned. He apparently went off searching the galaxy for this temple and something called the Oriole, this thing that it creates balance to the Force, and this was meant to be the whole MacGuffin thing. But I could be wrong, Jane. I'm going by what Mike Zero said. I'm going by all the other reviewers and what I've put together myself. And don't forget, like Marvel, they tend to release trailers that have nothing to do with film. And we could have just been led up the garden path. None of us are going to know until December, but we will get an insight in November because we'll get a new trailer in July. So there's more to say. We should be able to work a bit more out properly. But there's a book called Snoke coming out about his origins and who he is in November. So so we could be wrong about Snoke being Palpatine because there's a book coming out called Snoke or something. It's about his origins and all this. It's out in November. So that's when the Mandalorian's starting. Rebels season 7, and it's all coming out. So November and December, Star Wars months, big time. A lot of Star Wars things happening. I've not seen the new cartoon series either yet. I've not seen it. Just some guy. The first one was great. Second, In the Darkness was okay. Third was slow. Where they wrote no more. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, Into Darkness were all right. It just annoyed me. I thought Cumberbatch was superb. I really did, but he could have just been another villain. I'd rather have had him instead of being Khan. It's just that old saying, what did it for me when Spock lost the plot, when he started shouting out Khan, which I just thought, oh, come on, you can't be doing this. Yeah, it was a big hit, wasn't it? It was a big hit. Yeah, just some guy. Hang on, Jane. Just some guy said, MacGuffin isn't that like the yin yang or sort of philosopher's stone with varying figures, positive, negative power? That's what I was saying about force in this film coming into balance for the whole thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I know. I've heard quite a few. Jane, is Mike Zero the biggest troll on the internet? Yeah, I've heard some bits about that. Have you? That apparently said stuff. I like Stupendous Wave, Jane. I do recommend him. He's really nice guy. A big fan of him. Have you been watching Geeks and Gamers, Jane? What have they been up to? I managed to catch one of the video. They were still going on about Captain Bloody Marvel. Jane, seriously, they were still going on about Captain Marvel. So I think, right, so what have we got on the Star Wars thing, right? So Palpatine gets thrown down the shaft, right? I'll go into MacGuffin now, right? Palpatine goes down the shaft, right? He's thrown down there. Somehow, as Copeland said, just some guy and other people, that did he teleport out? Was all that energy release some kind of him getting sort of traveling to another body, or it took all his power or whatever? And he's had to, I don't know, do something like for so many years in this lost city, or is he trapped on the Death Star? So he either clones himself, but then he burns up bodies like in Dark Empire to the one of them expanded universe books. But then he's waiting for a body that can, because he don't forget he's incredibly powerful. But if he has achieved immortality, he could also be omnipotent. But maybe he's got to get to a certain level, and he's been in the background leading the First Order. Because if he played Battlefront 2, he did do Operation Cinder, didn't he? Where the Empire was going to destroy itself, and then them that were worthy were going to go to unknown regions. But this whole film is meant to be set in the unknown regions because we've got the Lost City. So that is what I know and what I'm putting together. But I could be totally wrong. And you could say, well, Martin said that, but Martin could be wrong. That is my thoughts. I think Palpatine is somewhere and he's cloning bodies. Unless I think Ray might be a clone. After Battle of Jakku, maybe she got out as a little girl. She woke up. and she got out at clone thing, and she got to the surface, and maybe it's her body he wants, because it can handle her power. But I think Kylo Ren and are a balance of light and dark, and they're going to come together to form something to complete the circle of both sides at Force. Because the whole thing, there's been a lot of mention of Grey Jedi as well now, aren't there? Them that sit in the middle, So I don't know. That is my thoughts, Jane. That's what I think the whole MacGuffin thing is in the next Star Wars film. Jane is Mike Zero the biggest on the internet? Jane, why Lucasfilm doesn't sue Mike Zero with the leaks of Star Wars? Now, well, yeah, that's what I thought. He's always like popping up, going newsflash. Another thing, skates off the set, and I'm like, where are you getting all this information from, Mum? Because if you weren't on that set, you'd be caught by now. So I think he's going along with what he thinks. But I do agree to a point. I think the whole film, it's going to be a balance. It's going to be a balance of light and dark with something in the middle. But Palpatine's got to go. He's of an older era. Because I think once we've got this, I don't think they're going to go beyond these films. I think then, because apparently Lucasfilm is doing Knights of the Old Republic. They're going back thousands of years into the past now. But maybe this is like the big saga at the end. This is it. After this, it's over, isn't it? Because Mandalorian's set before all this. I think Mandalorian's set during the original trilogy, I think. So I don't know. So we'll have to see what happens. But Palpatine, I think getting Palpatine after this, surely they can't put him in another film after this. I think the next Star Wars films are going to be set in the past, thousands of years back in the past. So I think Disney want the freedom to do what they want. And I think what they found with doing these like movies, they've been a bit restricted, to where they can go. So if they can give it a good ending, an intelligent ending, that make this probably like Avengers Endgame, like a worthy sort of final to it all. Because there's been 11 films now, aren't there? With Solo and Rogue One. It's 11 movies, isn't it? So altogether. So, I mean, if you finish it like that, I think they'll finish the next Star Wars. It'll be about the balance in the Force and putting the scales right. Because everything's set in the past or before it or around it. Where do we go in the next Star Wars movies after this? Where do we go? A new threat arises of a new darkness. I mean, we can't go through that again. So then why not go into Sith and Jedi history? Into the past. Not just like 10 years. You're talking 2,000 to 3,000 years back when it all started. The first Sith, the first Jedi. Because it's pretty interesting stuff, the background origins of the whole Jedi Sith thing when you go back. Jane said, right, hang on, I'm just catching up, guy. That's why I've been reading. Right. Jane, Mike Zero is doing piracy. Well, he's getting more leaks than everybody else. He's getting more leaks than major press, isn't he? Just some guy. I'll be honest with the Star Wars franchise. I go as far as Rogue One, Force Awakens, Last Jedi was awful, and I really tried to get into it. I really did. Yeah, I thought Force Awakens. Well, that was just a copy of Last Hope, wasn't it? New Hope, wasn't it? It was. Yeah, I got to admit, I did enjoy Force Awakens, but it was Star Wars A New Hope just remade, wasn't it? It was a bit extra added to it, right? I think they could have gone in a better direction with the Solo family and the whole, bring the Emperor back, which I'm up for, but adding manipulating events in the background for 3 movies and a lot's gone on. Luke's in a different place and different things, and I think that would have been interesting, but they didn't. And I think the way they've took this saga this time round has been pretty diabolical, to be honest. You know, but they've got to finish this on a high now. This has got to finish on a high. It's got to, because this stuff is 42 years in the making, isn't it now? Right. Just right. The Osman, nothing will beat the original Star Wars trilogy. Osman, I totally agree with that, mate. Honestly, I think the original trilogy is the best of it's the one I grew up with. I did like the prequels. They were sort of interesting. Yeah, Phantom Menace, it was all right. I mean, that would it was okay. The second one, Attack of Clones, it bored me senseless. But Revenge of the Sith were marvelous. And how Palpatine took power. I just thought that were amazing. Just thought Adrian Christian's cheesy Darth Vader for getting killed it. But I mean, there has been a lot of flaws in these movies, haven't there? There are all these like 9 movies. Except the original trilogy. Jane said, everyone likes to know where the hell Mike Zero gets those leaks and stuff. The judge wants to know also. Well, Jay, we should ask him, really. Mike Zero, where are you getting all these leaks? If you're watching this, we all want to know where you're getting these leaks from. Let's see if he gets back to us. Jane, everyone likes to know, right? Just some guy thought the continue of the set pieces in Tech in Rogue One was really. The Death Star was back. The corridors. Yeah, well, I agree. Just some guy. Rogue One was spectacular. Rogue One was a spectacular movie. Even when it starts, when you get that first scene when they're on that planet, when Greenwich ship's landing and they're hiding on that planet, his family with that stormy day. It had that appeal of that universe and how the characters were all like Tarkin and all this. And even Rebel Alliance wasn't as innocent. There were a darkness over stuff. And it was brilliant. Same with Solo. They got that right. Why can't the main movies that hold the franchise together get it right? Force Awakens, a complete copy of A New Hope, which it was. And then don't get Last Jedi were just, I'm going to say it was complete, utter bollocks. It was. Sorry, Batman. It was. And then, this is why the Rise of Skywalker has got to be done right. Because if they do this, they're going to screw up the old saga. Have you been watching Clone Saga? The Clone Wars? That's marvelous. Clone Wars is marvelous. You can't knock it. Just right, just some right. Hang on, just a photo. Just some guy. The Empire Strikes Back. Oh God, yeah, a fantastic movie. I love Empire. Luke, I am your father. Osman, I have to admit, I don't mind the prequels much as I do the new trilogy. No, I don't. I mean, the prequels are hit and miss for me, except for the third one. I think the third one's just tops it off. It's a standard. It's up there, and for me, some of the best Star Wars movies because it's all about Palpatine, and that's what it's about, And I think these films should finish off on Palpatine. I do. I think I do. Apparently, we're gonna, according to a certain person on YouTube, I won't say his name, Jen. You know what I'm on about. Apparently, we're gonna get into the origins of Anakin's father on another set leak. Well, apparently, it's rumored that Palpatine's his dad. When him and Plagueis were doing something at Force, and she became like pregnant with Anakin. His mother Shmi. Sure, I don't know. Osman, The Last Jedi was total garbage. Totally agree with you, mate. It was total utter looks. Jump up. What happens to the Obi-Wan movie? It might still be happening. But I think they backed off after you say they're still sort of dealing with damage from Last Jedi. You know, it's really that's why Solo didn't do well. Solo's a bloody good movie. It is, and it should have been a big hit. You know, but the damage from Last Jedi is just it's like a nuke going off with fallout all over it. Do you know what I mean? You know, yeah. Hang on. Jane, I like that. Jane says Star Wars: The Rise of Palpatine. Now that I agree. I like that. I agree with that. Yeah, the Rise of Skywalker, the Rise of Palpatine would have been better to finish it off. Because to me, the whole last nine move, it's all about him. It's all about him. It's about his rise to power. He's been with it all, hasn't he? Even when he's not in it, he's in the bloody background. Even Luke mentioned him in Last Jedi, didn't he? Palpatine, greatest villain of all time. You know what I mean? The ultimate manipulator. Oh yeah, John. Clone Wars is superb. Season 7 in November. Oh yes, season 7. John, wait till you get to season 6. You're gonna love that. Osman, yeah. No, I think Osman. I totally agree. The rise of Palpatine. Jen, you have won a round of applause for this. You deserve this, Jen. You know, the rise of Palpatine. I mean, bloody hell, it's so obvious, isn't it, what you would have called this film? The rise of Palpatine. Do you know what I mean? It's perfect. He's in the final movie. So call it the rise of Palpatine. No, well done, Jen. Honestly. Brilliant. Yeah, why the rise of Palpatine? It's perfect. I think you've scored big points tonight, Jen. I really do. You know, I didn't think of that. And the thing is, Jen, it was so bloody obvious as well. You know, they spent millions and millions of dollars to pay people to think, yeah, let's call it the Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Palpatine would have been better. It's so simple. If he's coming back with that laughter at the end, yeah, then it would make sense, would it not? You know, to bring him in. You know, the rise. Well, yeah, right. The rise. Should we start should we start a petition? Get millions demanding that we call the rise of Skywalker, the rise of Palpatine. Well done, Jen. You're a star. It's brilliant. So I don't know. It's the Star Wars controversy. It just will not go away. It annoyed all of us, didn't it, Last Jedi? I mean, we're nearly 2 years on and we're still, even now, detest that bloody movie. I can't find my copy on Blu-ray. And do you know, I don't care. I just don't care. I went to the cinema with two of my mates to see that film and I was bored shitless. I sat there like that. I just sat there and I thought, what the hell is this? You know, it was just terrible. And I wanted to walk out. And when Snoke got killed off in first 30 minutes, John, wait till you get to season 6, mate. It's going to blow your mind. No spoiler. I don't want to spoil it for you. Honestly, season 6, you won't better turn up. And then when you get to season 6, start on Rebels. I'll lend you. I will lend you Rebels on Blu-ray. If you want to borrow it, when you're here on Thursday, I will lend you Rebels. Seasons 1, 2, 3. Honestly, wait till you get Rebels, John. Why they couldn't make the last film based around Clone Wars and Rebels is just beyond me. There's a guy, he's called Feline. Oh, what's his name? I forgot the writer of Clone Wars and Rebels. He's now working on the Rise of Skywalker. No, Rise of Palpatine. And that's what we're going to call it. The Rise of Palpatine. Right, hang on. Right, hang on. Just on season 5. Just some guy. Palpatine's favourite drink could be awful. What, putting his slippers on when he goes to bed. Osman, Peter, I can't stand and hold complete disdain for movies. Yeah, no, I agree, Osman, totally. Just some guy. Anyone a fan of the new Wentworth series? Now, I've not seen it. Is that Prison Cell Block H from with wobbly sets from years ago? Osman, the creepy guy in Mum's Garage. Jane Turner, Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Palpatine. Yeah, definitely. All right, that's it. From now on, it's called The Rise of Palpatine. Uh, just some guy. It's a remake of The Prisoner, but more realistic. All right, I've not seen that. I do remember just some guy. Do you remember? I'm a massive fan of the 60s series of The Prisoner. Uh, I've been to the village. I've actually been to the village a couple of times. Haven't we, John? We've been twice, haven't we? To Port Merion. The place is incredible. You know where they filmed it, but it's a remake, but more realistic. Just some guy, really good, really, really huge fan of this old blockade. I like the original. We used to get it on York's TV on a Monday night, about 12:30, 2 episodes a week. I think it was Monday and Thursdays. So I used to come in pissed on a Thursday and watch it with a kebab. I just loved it. There were half at cast of neighbours were in it, like when they were younger. With wobbly sets. Remember they had vinegar tits and the freak. Do you remember her with leather gloves that used to like be really nasty? And B Smith on drying machine. God, scary place that one. Right, just some guy. Wentworth is always prison. Patrick McGill loved him in Escape from. Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, they remade the Prisoner series from Patrick McGowan as well, and it was terrible, wasn't it? Just some guy, Joan Ferguson. Yeah, the steam press. That takes me back many years. That does. So, the rise of Palpatine. Do you know what I mean? Club. They only seem to have 12 actors in Australia in the 80s. Yeah, they did. And they all ended up on Neighbours, didn't they? God, I don't. Is Neighbours still going? I haven't seen it in 20 years. When it moved from BBC, I forgot all about it. Because Neighbours just seems to be on forever, didn't it? Uncle Jim, who plays every single president in America now, or a political leader, or a general. That's all he does, don't he, Uncle Jim? Now, the Prison Cell Block H cast just went across the Arthur Street, yeah, on parole. The only scenes, yeah. So tonight, well, we've discussed the Avengers Endgame. We ended up going on about, we've changed the name to The Rise of Skywalker to The Rise of Palpatine, which does sound a lot cooler, So, and then somewhere we got into Neighbours and Prison Cell Block H. So I'm going to call it a night, guys. I will be on next Sunday at 7 o'clock. Please join in, guys. Another great show. And hang on. Oh, another minute. It was the same station. Yep. What we used to get it on Yorkshire. I used to remember Young Dr. Somewhere. Oh, God, yeah, I remember Sullivan's. Kylie Minogue were in that. Yeah, I remember Young Doctors as well. Young Doctors, it was like a porno set, that one, wasn't it? It was. You've got me started on about young Nurse Barrington. All my mates used to fancy Nurse Barrington. Yeah, it was like a porno set, wasn't it, Young Doctor? It was with them 70s porno, that music. We're going to have to do a show on Australian soap operas, which we all watched. Coquelin, Jane. The latest episode of Game of Thrones, so that I didn't see nothing. I've not seen Game of Thrones at all, Jane. I've not watched it. I'm not going to watch it until this series has finished. When this series finishes, all of it, I've got up to season 3 ready to go. I'm not starting on it until it's finished. No point. Because I'm watching Westworld, and to be honest, I can't stand the bloody thing. Uh, just some guy, Jim Robinson from Neighbours with the Doctor. Oh God, they always went to Bunny's friend. I remember that, you doctors. Oh God, hang on, I've got to do this. Hang on, hang on, 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes. Right, hang on. Have they got the fame? Hang on, I've got to do this. Sorry. Young Doctor's fame. I'm going to take us, but the Young Doctor's opening tells. Oh God, bloody hell! They released this on video. ITV. I've got to play the Young Doctors. Oh bloody hell! Porno music, yeah. Oh God, this was so bloody cheesy. It was the Young Bloody Doctors. It's like a porno movie from the 70s. Look at this. Nurse Barrington, the Young Doctors. Oh God, that's going back. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Right. Yeah, I used to fancy Jane on them. Yeah, I did as well. I remember Jane with the glasses, plain Jane, they used to call her, didn't they? She lived with Mrs. Mangle's niece. Jane said, are they going to do what? Yes, they are, apparently. George Lucas is involved in that. The Osmond Matt and you rock, bro. Love your cheers, man. Well, you took me back, man. Bloody Young Doctors. Good God. Just some guy that could. I know. Just some guy. The guitar at the beginning. Good God, no. You know. Do you want to wear it again, Young Doctors? Shall we just do it one more time? Shall we do it? Oh, I wish you hadn't. God, I'm gonna. I bet all this is on YouTube. You know. Right. Hang on. Oh, God. Young Bloody Doctors. Oh, bloody hell. This is so cheesy. You can say like sex scenes going on and all. This guy is in it. He's 1970s cheesy porn. Good God. The Young Doctors. Oh God, that is awful. Awful. I'm sorry, I'm no more Young Doctors. This is a science fiction show. Right, right. Oh, can't you hear the music? Can't you? All right, I'll play it again. Hang on then. No, let's right, let's try it this way. I thought you could play it. Right, I don't know what's going on there. But all right, I'll play it again, right, the music. Right, here we go again. I'm playing it now. Oh God, this is terrible. Oh, it's so terrible. It's porno music. Da, da, da. Oh God, that was absolutely terrible. It was terrible. The Young Bloody Doctors. What Sons and Daughters? Oh come on, Sons. Do you want Martin? Are you excited for the dark? Oh yeah, definitely can't wait for that Jade Dark Crystal. What do you want? Should we Sons and Daughters? Right, one more Sons and Daughters. That's it. That is it. Sons and daughters. Right. Right. Let's get sons and daughters. Oh God. Yeah, sons and daughters. She came. But that was a weird one, wasn't it? Sons and daughters. Sons and daughters. Sons and daughters wholesale. Oh good God. 972 episodes. Are you kidding me? Intro. 900 what? 900 episodes of that. Bloody hell. Honestly, it's there. I'm looking at it. Sons and daughters. 942 episodes. Here we go. Network 7. Oh God, this I remember this. I was a kid putting this for out. I remember watching when I was off school. I used to watch this. God, it were off half at Castanevas, isn't it? Bloody hell! What? 972 episodes or something. God, awful. And do you remember all them cheesy sets they used to have on them sets as well? I mean, Australian soap operas, you've got to give them that. I mean, at least the British ones have got a bit of class to them, like Coronation Street and that, and Emmerdale. Right. I remember the Sons and Daughters lyrics. Sons and Daughters, Cold the husband, we can't hear it. All right, all right. Sons and Daughters, Cold sung like a true fan. Good God. Sons and daughters, love and laughter, tears and sadness, happiness. We find out our sons and daughters are what we two were all about. Oh, God. And they all ended up in neighbours and just home and away. The young daughters had an instrumental of the end credits, well, better version with a guitar. Something like that guy. Go, laugh out loud. Go on, Martin. But you've got to go for it now. Oh, God, no, country practice. Stop it. You're killing me, guys. You're killing. All right, country practice. I remember country practice. God, that was terrible, wasn't it? We used to get them on ITV in the afternoon. I remember, like, I didn't have a job at the time. You know what I mean? I remember I'd just been made redundant, and I think I spent a couple of weeks watching all this. Do you know what I mean? Country practice. Country practice. Do not ask me to review any of this. I'm not sitting through 972 episodes of Sons and Daughters. Oh, God. Right, here we go. Country practice. I'm going to start crying. Oh, God. Well, it seems a bit more respectable than other. Oh, God, remember this. This is awful. Grant Dodwell. That's a porno name. Oh, God. This went on forever as well, didn't it? This is. Everybody's so bloody happy. They're all like happy. Oh, God. And then you got the nosy fuddy duddy. Oh, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Right. No more. Stop it now. No more memories going back down there. Right. Right. Of the door. I love how Simmons gone from Sci-Fi Simmons. No more. It stops now. It stops. I'm not reviewing Australian soap operas from the 70s. Very, very big dick. It's a gun behind you. Yes, that is very, very, very big dick. It's quite a few guns behind me. Just some guy, go Martin the Sullivans. Oh God. Used to be on after the 1 o'clock. It did. The Osman, nothing has ever been done like what the MCU accomplished with this franchise. Right, guys, I'm gonna go. I will be back next Sunday. I will do a review through the week, but I've got a lot on this week. But definitely will be on Sunday, 7 o'clock. Thanks for participating. I'm sorry I wasn't on Wednesday, but I will be on definitely next Sunday. I look forward to it, guys. Honestly, a pleasure as always. I will see you next week. Thank you so much, and please subscribe to my channels. Thank you for joining us. Very, very big dick. Thank you for joining me, bud. Hopefully, I'll see you again. Please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, guys. If you've got any requests about any weird reviews, I'm not doing Australian soap operas, right? The Young Doctors. I am not. I might take a look at the odd episode tonight before I go to bed. Right then, have a great time, guys. I will see you next Sunday at 7 o'clock. Jane, The Rise of Palpatine. Perfect. Perfect. And I think we'll go out with a round of applause for you all.